Hello friends, welcome to Architect Interview Question Series. In this series, we are covering different questions on system design, software architecture, and the questions which are asked to senior engineers or principal engineers regarding their interview, and even in your day-to-day life during software architecture discussions, you can use these concepts. The question is, what is continuous integration and continuous delivery? Often it's also called as CICD. CICD is a short form of this continuous integration and continuous delivery. And why do we use it? Let's understand. CICD are like two terms, continuous integration, CI, and continuous delivery, CD. And these two are often used together. So, and they are important concepts in software development process. So if you see this diagram, we start from planning about what we want to do, then we code it, then we build it, and then we test it. After testing, we release it. And after release, we deploy it to production. And then from deployment, it goes to operation, and where it is monitored, like how it is performing. If there are any changes required, we again go back to the cycle of planning, coding, building, testing. So that way we keep on continuously testing things, changing things, and releasing it to the production so that the whole cycle keeps on working. Let's understand from this diagram. So first stage is continuous integration. Here we are developing something and we do some application tests like unit tests, functional tests, those are done. And after that we do an integration test so that it can be merged to a branch, right? So that means your whole code is becoming part of a bigger repository. Next step is continuous delivery. Here we have development or application test, and once it is done integration test, everything is passed, then we run the acceptance test. So these are mainly from quality perspective, quality checks on the performance perspective or like end-to-end perspective. So those kind of tests that are run, and if they pass, which means your delivery is successful. The third step is continuous deployment. Here, after the acceptance test, it's ready for taking it to the production. And if it has gone to production, which means we have deployed and it is available for use by the end customer, right? So these are the three steps: continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. All right, so in CI/CD, we have first step called continuous integration, where developer will merge their code into a master branch. And as soon as like all the required checks are done, it's preferable to merge it immediately. Why? Because if you don't merge it, it is waiting for merge when other people are making changes, and when different people, they have written the code, now they come to merge it together, there will be merge conflicts and so many merge issues will be there. Then it will like so much of headache, I mean so many merge conflicts, how will you manage it, and it becomes too late in the process to integrate the code. So the practice is, as soon as you do and if your tests are passing, you should merge the code into master branch. And if you wait for a release date to merge, then because of the merge conflicts, you are making on the fly decisions, and that will reduce your confidence that, oh, whether your merge code will actually be successful or not, because you don't want to do the last minute code changes, right? So we go for continuous integration, where as soon as your tests are passing, you will integrate to main branch, master branch. So in the CI model, when the developer has checked in the code, it means that our master branch code is always of high quality because it is meeting the high confidence and high bar of all the tests which are passing, right? So now you can do any feature work by just taking a branch from master branch and start working on it with a high confidence, right? You don't need to see that, oh, master branch is buggy. And master branch is always with a high quality and high confidence. Then comes continuous delivery. So continuous integration was first part. Developer has done their part, and now we want to run all further tests from the acceptance perspective. So here the teams are empowered to deliver the code as soon as possible to the client. And if all the checks have passed, then you can just say that, oh, this binary is there, right? So this will reduce the overall time to market for a new feature to become available to end users. So you're delivering it, and then this can go to the production and then can be deployed and consumers can start using this feature. So in CD, this is called continuous delivery CD, we generally implement an automated build and release pipeline, and this has automated set of tests. So automation is the key here, because if we have to do manually, it's not called CI/CD. And as soon as code is checked into the master branch, the CD pipeline will run and it will ensure that all the test cases are passing, and then the binary files will be generated for deployment to production environment. So now in this case, if you see, our stop here is the generation of binary files. We are not yet deploying it, right? We are delivering but not deploying it, because that is something which business people can take a decision whether this is the right time to deploy it. Like, I mean, if you're let's say releasing quarterly results, so you may be prepared 2 days before like the deadline, and that is a continuous delivery. But if you want to deploy, you'll deploy only on the specific day when the results have to be made public, right? So that's the purpose of CI/CD. Now CI/CD, they work in tandem in most of the organizations, and without CI/CD is not possible. So you can think that CI is a kind of a prerequisite for CD, right? So they work together, CI and CD, and it's totally automated way on automated pipelines. And one of the popular tool for this is Jenkins that we use to build CI/CD pipelines. Now there is another variation of CD which is called continuous deployment. So which is different from continuous delivery. Continuous deployment means that we have so much of confidence that the code that is prepared as binaries by continuous delivery can be deployed to production. In CD, the code may be waiting for deployment to the production, but here, even with a click of a button, you have automated pipelines that can take the code to deployment, and that's why you can have feature releases every day, kind of. So big companies like Airbnb, like Lyft, I mean Netflix, all they follow the continuous deployment where the feature releases can happen immediately as soon as all the checks have passed. So in continuous deployment, we don't need to wait for a release day that only on this day code will be released. The code can be released any time of the day and any day, right? And as soon as it is considered worthy to be delivered, like basically as soon as they think, oh, this is a good piece of code, all the tests have passed and business likes it, they can just deploy it immediately. So that's the benefit of continuous deployment. Alright, so that's all on this topic, and if you still have any other questions, do let us know in comments. We'll be happy to answer that and share your feedback. How did you like about this topic of CICD? We'll be happy to answer any further questions that you have. Thank you, and do subscribe to the channel so that you can get alerts whenever new videos are posted.